So we're live now. I'm just gonna share this to my multiple groups. So if you have any Facebook group you're using, you can also share that as well.
Okay, perfect.
But you have to go on to my fan page, Ellenpro, to find that live.
Okay.
We're just gonna wait for the first attendees to show up.
I don't get this. There's like 6 here. No, I'm gonna bundle these two, and then from there you go to that, and then there, and then there. You're gonna bundle these two? Yeah. Okay, so I'll do this one. This one, and then me, and then you. And I'll close
it. Okay, we have one first attendee.
Whoop, whoop.
Awesome.
First attendee in the house.
Yeah. So that first attendee, do you want to say hi to us? Let me just. I'm still sharing the. Hold on. You can see the comments, right? But there's no comments yet.
It says chat with your host. Yeah, I don't see no comments though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still sharing. Second. Sharing a group.
Hey, Ellen, where are you located at?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay, where though?
I'll tell you later after we get off the live.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Good point. Forgot we're live.
Hey, Richard, how are you? Richard is one of my clients.
Right on. How you doing, Richard?
What's up, Richard?
Richard is an e-commerce entrepreneur in Taiwan.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. Okay, we have 5 attendees now, so should we get started?
We are ready to rock and roll when you are.
Awesome. Okay. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to my weekly Facebook Live webcast. So today I invited this fitness expert twins, Chris and Eric Martinez. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Martinez.
A
little bit of Latin fire.
Awesome. So they're going to talk about 5 tips to avoid becoming an healthy entrepreneur. But before that, I want to tell you a little bit background information about this awesome twins. So I met them in Tai Lopez's house last year, and they have clients around the world. You guys have like over 1,000 clients, right?
We've worked with over 1,000 clients, but we have a lot of clients that we work with just worldwide.
Right. And they're also featured on Forbes, Huffington Post, and I don't know what else, but those major media, they have those major media credentials. So let's get started. I'll just switch the camera to you guys so you guys can start it.
All righty, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you so much, Ellen, for having us on. This is going to be great, and we're all about delivering value to the audience. So what we're going to be talking about today is 5 tips to avoid becoming an unhealthy entrepreneur. Because Chris and I are full-blooded entrepreneurs. We've been doing this for the last 6 to 7 years, so we know how it is to be an entrepreneur, how much of a grind it is, how much you have to be on the go, and how you can easily put your health on the back burner. So today we want to give you guys 5 tips to avoid that and really start putting your health at the forefront of everything.
All right, guys, so we're going to give 5 tips right now. So we're going to go through it right now, make it very easy and tangible for you guys can understand all this stuff. If you have questions, I would say let's try to save them towards the end. We can do a Q&A section and make things a little bit easier. Right now, I just want to make sure you guys get these 5 points because they're very, very practical points. It's going to help you out going forward in your entrepreneurial journey. So the first one is knowing your why and your purpose. Okay, so I know this sounds repetitive as an entrepreneur, and every single business coach or somebody tells you have to know your why, you have to know your purpose. We've all seen Simon Sinek's video on this. Okay, it gets repetitive, but it's very, very crucial because if you don't have clarity in your business going forward and even in your fitness journey, you're very lost. You can't sit there and set clear, tangible goals to make progress, right? So the same thing as business, you want to know your why and your purpose in fitness, okay? So let me give you an example. Let's say somebody comes up to me and says, Chris, I want to get a 6-pack, okay? Well, I'm going to say, why do you want the 6-pack? What is the purpose behind getting a 6-pack? Is this going to make you happier? Is this going to increase your relationships? Is this going to make you a better person in your career? I don't know. I need to know why. I need to know the purpose behind that, right? I think so many people sit there and take it for granted, and they just will look at this like, body image they want to compare themselves to, and they'll just jump into a fitness program. They'll go on the next named diet out there. They'll do a crash diet. They'll sit there and run themselves to the ground through an exercise program, right? And it's the wrong way to go about it. So here's what I need you guys to do. It's a very tangible goal. Get a piece of paper out, split it in half. On the left side, put your why. On the right side, put your purpose, and just do a brain dump for 10 minutes. Really, really simple. Why do you want to be in shape? Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to have these fitness goals? What is the purpose behind all these things? So just do a brain dump. There's no right or wrong answers, but I promise you, if you do this exercise and you get more clarity on your why and your purpose and your fitness journey, you're going to be able to set more tangible goals, and you're going to have a successful fitness journey going forward.
Okay, guys, so tip number 2 for avoiding becoming an unhealthy entrepreneur is self-love, and do not compare yourself to others, right? So let me start a little bit with the whole thing about self-love. And we live in a world today where, we hold a lot of people on pedestals, and whether that's influencers, whether that's, very successful people out there, we hold them on pedestals, right? So we cannot do that as entrepreneurs, because once we hold people on pedestals, that brings down our self-worth, and we do not feel worthy of them because we're not on their level. So same thing when it comes to, fitness. You have to love your body. As hard as that might be in the current moment, you have to wake up every day and be like, look, I love myself. Yes, this is where I'm at. It's my responsibility, but I can always change that body image, right? So always starting off by loving yourself and where you're currently at with your body image is key to going forward in your fitness journey. Because if you sit there and bash on yourself from a physical standpoint and mental standpoint, you're not going to want to sit there and you're not going to be fired up every day to go and reach your fitness goals. I promise you that. So start out by every day, just saying some words of affirmation that have to do with self-love and your body image. Next point is comparing yourself to others. Like I said, we live in this world where social media is just everything. So we're constantly comparing ourselves to others out there. And I see a lot of people following fitness influencers, and they have these perfect quote unquote bodies. You can't do that. So my suggestion is don't compare yourself to others. Understand that you have to deal with your journey first, and then you can always improve upon yourself. But comparing yourself is toxic when it comes to fitness, entrepreneurism, business, everything.
All right, so just to make sure you guys are paying attention, what was the first 3 that we just named off right now? The first 3 tips.
That was the first 2.
Oh, first 2, my bad. Okay, I'm going to recap them, okay? The first tip was knowing your why and purpose in your fitness journey. The second one was self-love and comparing yourself to others, okay? So now I'm going to go on to number 3 and 4. So the third tip to avoid becoming an unhealthy entrepreneur is what we call Rath. Okay, our mentor Eric Helms taught us this. Rath stands for R is realistic, the E is enjoyable, and the F is flexible. So you need to have a realistic, enjoyable, and flexible training and nutrition program so you can have an overall, more beneficial fitness journey going forward. Okay, so let me give you guys some examples on what this looks like. Let's say you're an entrepreneur right now. You travel maybe 2-3 times a week. Is it going to be feasible for you to have an exercise program where you're training 5-6 days a week? Probably not, right? Because you're traveling 2 to 3 days a week. It's going to be very hard to do that. Okay, so you have to have a realistic type of training program where maybe it's 2 or 3 times a week. That's it. Okay, at least you're getting in the gym. At least you're working on your health. Now, enjoyable, right? Let's say you're an entrepreneur. Let's say that you go to a personal trainer and they're like, you know what? I want you to do bodybuilding style. I want you to do powerlifting style workouts. What if you don't like doing bodybuilding or powerlifting styles workouts? What if you like doing CrossFit? What if you like doing maybe like a Zumba class, or maybe you like doing a body pump class? So you want to have a workout program that's going to be enjoyable, because if it's more enjoyable, you're going to work harder at it, and thus you're going to get more results. Now, flexible, okay? It has to be flexible. So if you have an exercise program or a nutrition program and somebody says, you have to eat these exact foods every single day, this certain amount. What if one day you go out to like a business dinner or something like that, or a meeting, and you have to eat something else off the plan, right? You have to be able to be flexible with it. Same with the training program. If you have to all of a sudden maybe stay for a late meeting, maybe you have something come up, a big project, a big call, and you can't go do your workout, it has to be flexible to where you can maybe do it later on in the week. So the whole take-home point with this third one is make sure you have a training and nutrition program where it's realistic, enjoyable, flexible, and you can be consistent with it, okay?
And not only that, to where you can see yourself doing it for days, weeks, months, and years on end.
Right. Okay. So tip number four to avoid becoming an unhealthy entrepreneur is excuses. Eliminate these excuses, okay? Now, here are some of the normal excuses I hear from entrepreneurs about their, taking care of their health. They always say they don't have time. Either they're going to put their health at the forefront when they make X amount of dollars, okay? Maybe they're going to sit there and take care of their health and hire a trainer, or maybe get on a nutrition program when they're less busy, less traveling, right? I hear all these different excuses. It's a bucket of excuses from entrepreneurs, and I get sick of it because all they do is they sit there and want to put scaling the next project up at the forefront. They want to make the next amount of dollars, maybe the next $1,000, maybe the next $1 million, right? They want to be financially wealthy only. They don't want to be mentally wealthy. They don't want to be physically wealthy. And I get tired of hearing it, because you need to start putting your health at the forefront, because I promise you, if you sit there and you keep putting your health at the back burner, it doesn't matter how much money you make, because you're not going to be happy. You're not going to have the love. You're not going to have the relationships. You're not going to have the social aspect in your life, okay? So put health at the forefront. Stop making the excuses. Start today taking care of your health. No ifs or buts about it.
All right, so the last tip, number 5, to avoid becoming an unhealthy entrepreneur is think of your fitness journey as a marathon, not a sprint. So I'll repeat that one more time. Think of your fitness journey as a marathon, not as a sprint. So we hear this all the time too, and Gary Vee is a very, very good example of what he preaches, right? He says, play the long game in business. So again, same thing with fitness. Play the long game. Stop looking for quick, short fixes. Stop, chasing these little fad diets. Again, go back to what is realistic, enjoyable, flexible, what you can see yourself doing for days, weeks, months, and years on end, okay? Think about it as a long journey going forward for longevity purposes. And the same thing when it comes to, your business goals. Set small, weekly, tangible things that you could attain, like just little goals, right? Don't sit there and just, try to hit a home run right away. Sit there and hit some singles, hit some doubles, hit some triples. You have to set small, tangible goals in your fitness journey the same way you do with your business, to sit there and level up and scale your business. And just think about it like that. You're trying to scale your health as well too.
All right, let's recap the 5.
Yeah, so just to recap the 5 tips to avoid becoming an unhealthy entrepreneur. Tip number 1 is knowing your why and purpose. Tip number 2 is have more self-love and don't compare yourself to others. Number 3 is REF, realistic, enjoyable, and flexible with your training and nutrition program. Number 4 is eliminate all excuses. Number 5 is look at your fitness journey as a marathon, not a sprint.
And have tangible goals. All right, any questions?
Awesome. That was very nice. I wrote down on my notepad as well.
Oh, you took notes.
And I saw a question coming in. Shivanji is asking, being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that we should focus only on one thing like purpose. We are working on some project that oh shoot, I don't, because a lot of, can you see that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that we should focus only on one thing. Like suppose we're working on some project and then we see some good opportunity. Should we drop that old project and move on to the new opportunity that will make us good or unhealthy entrepreneurs? I think that's a great question, but I wouldn't sit there and just drop your old project. There's always going to be new and exciting, ventures and opportunities thrown your way. But again, you have to think back to what is your overall vision as an entrepreneur and a business owner going forward, right? What are your core values? Does it align with your values? Does it align with who you are? Ultimately, I think you have to just reevaluate to see if it aligns with your vision. So I wouldn't sit there and just drop, your old projects right away. Just do a brain dump, think about it, and just go from there.
Yeah, and then to add to that too, this is where this whole concept of like making a realistic, enjoyable, and flexible training nutrition program comes into play. Because let's say that that old project you're doing, maybe you have some more time to go to the gym at that point, right? Maybe this new project comes up, but you have to maybe delegate more hours to it to work on it, right? Okay, that's fine. So maybe instead of going to the gym 4 days a week, you drop it down to maybe 2 or 3 days a week, right? You go through that phase to where you don't have to train so hard. Maybe you don't have to eat so strict and so healthy. you can be a little bit more lenient. But then once that new project is already done and you have more free time, okay, cool. You get to scale back up and go to the gym maybe 4 or 5 days a week again. You can start cleaning up your diet, being a little more strict again, start focusing on that. You can never look at it as a black and white thing or an off and on switch. It has to be looked at as a light dimmer, just up or down, depending on the phase.
So the key is to be persistent, right?
Absolutely.
Consistent, everything. Yeah.
Consistency and consistency. So do we have any more questions? Yeah, there's some delay, so we're just gonna wait for some.
Oh yeah, and if they have questions, we can always just answer them later on your Facebook pages. And also too, we want to offer to those that are listening to this call, we're hosting a 14-day free challenge. It's called the Dynamic Get Fit Challenge. So totally free. All you have to do is email us and we'll send you the link, give you access to all the stuff. It's just basic training, nutrition, and lifestyle material that will just really, really help you guys get going in the right direction. So we'll definitely offer that to you guys for listening, and that's how much we appreciate it.
And what's the email? How do they know how to email
us?
Oh,
gosh, yeah. So email us at support@dynamicduotraining.com. So once again, support@dynamicduotraining.com, and email subject could just be Ellen's live Facebook video.
And I think Richard had a question, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I answer his question.
Let me show that question.
Okay, Richard, if I set health as a priority, how would I arrange my time for sleep? I mean, if I want to be the best of the best in my area, I'm supposed to work harder. Richard, see, here's the thing you got to go back to is putting health at the forefront, right? And sleep is very, very important. So what I would do is, at the very minimum, probably not get less than 6 hours of sleep. Okay, because the research shows if you get anything less than 6 hours of sleep, that starts affecting kind of like your cognitive thinking. You start making more poor decisions because you're tired the next day. You start making more poor decisions as far as eating, putting exercise in the back burner, stuff like that. So at the very bare minimum, 6 hours of sleep. Try to even get maybe like a 15 to 30-minute power nap in through the day. Those are really good. And again, I would just, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say just start developing this as a habit, right? So maybe you're getting like 4 to 5 hours of sleep right now. Slowly level up, try starting tomorrow where you just integrate, 15 to 20 more minutes towards your sleep, and then slowly build up each day or each week. Don't sit there and, like I said, try to go for the home run, because that's not going to work. Slowly build it up into a habit, into where it's like a consistent sleep cycle, to where it's a priority for your life. And again, it goes back to the thing too, work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Awesome. So I put the contact information on the banner. It says support@dynamicduotraining.com.
Yeah,
awesome. And we're going to close this session today. And thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, just hit them an email at support@dynamicduotraining.com. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.